It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk is brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis. Banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute. Comprehensive cutting-edge care giving you every reason to choose Hayes Med. United Rentals. Your partner for equipment rental, sales, and service. VTI. Your John Deere dealer. With locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. VTI. Our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop. Order by phone or use the Taco Shop app. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Royal Roofing. Give your home the royal treatment with Royal Roofing. And Eagle. Our community connected. Now, Tiger Talk with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock.
And welcome to another edition of Tiger Talk with Fort Hays State head football coach Chris Brown. Good to have you with us as we review a tough one in Pittsburgh Saturday afternoon and early evening. The Tigers and the 18th ranked Gorillas. It was good for three quarters, but game kind of slipped away late. We'll get the coach's thoughts on that. Preview this Saturday night. The Tigers are back at home. It'll be homecoming as they take on the Missouri Western State Griffins at Lewis Field. We'll get into that. We'll look at the game. We'll also have our player guest. That's going to be Ryan Allen, senior wide receiver, wears number 11. He'll be our player guest a little bit later on in the program. Got a lot of great questions already submitted. You can still do so during the show here today. All you have to do is go to the Fort Hays State Athletics website, fhsuathletics.com. You'll see the fans tab at the top. Click on it. You get the drop-down menu there on the bottom right. You'll see Tiger Talk Ask the Coach. If we use your question, chance to win a Mix 103.3 T-shirt, Mix 103, home of Fort Hays State Athletics. So a lot to get to today. And, of course, a reminder, if you miss any portion of the program, you can always catch it on Hays Post. We'll have the audio replay on the Defend the Fort podcast, and you can catch the video replay. If you want to watch the show, you can do that at Hays Post as well. That'll be up there on Monday evening. Again, big thanks to Jordan, the video guy. He's the guru, and he'll have it up there later this evening for Tiger Talk. We're certainly glad to have you with us today. Tigers coming off a tough 31-16 loss at Pittsburgh State, host Missouri Western this Saturday night. We're going to take our quick break right now. We're going to come in and delve right into it. Coach Chris Brown will join us right after the break. This is Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, pulled by PwC from Eagle.
We had a guy that came into the bank. His dream was to own a restaurant. He was turned down from multiple banks, and upon coming in here, having a prior knowledge of who he was, we reviewed his business plan, we talked to him, and we felt strongly that we wanted to join him in this adventure. Ever since we joined with him, he has been very, very successful. It's just really nice to be able to be a part of somebody's dreams. Golden Belt Bank, one story at a time.
Heaver to throw, looking near side for Hilleman. Makes an unbelievable leaping catch inside the 10. He was being grabbed the entire way, but he hauls it in over Christian Cross. First and goal, Tigers at the 7. Yeah, some of the action from Saturday at Carney Smith Stadium. Big crowd of over 9,700. Great game until it wasn't. Pittsburgh State wins at 31-16. Welcome back to Tiger Talk, brought to you by Golden Belt Bank. It's banking one story at a time. Golden Belt Bank of Hays and Ellis. Visit them at goldenbeltbank.com. And, Coach, you guys really battled. It was a great football game. It felt a lot like some prior games, last year's a little bit. Go back to when you beat them 7-6 for the first time, ending that long losing streak to the Gorillas. Just unfortunately, the wheels kind of came off there. About 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and just didn't have an answer for them. And give Pitt credit, they played well for 4 quarters and they got the victory on their home field.
Yeah, I mean, we knew it was going to be a good football game. We knew it was going to be a physical football game, and just going into it, that's just kind of the way when we meet up. That's kind of how those games are. And we know it's going to be a good football game as well. And they just made more plays than we did. It's like that 9-minute span. We gave up that long touchdown pass, and then we just kind of fell apart after that. But, we got down 17-16 at that point, and I think it's just in the back of our kids' minds of last year when we lost that game by a point as well. But that's when you got to be a competitor. You just got to step on the field and be a dude and go make plays happen and go find a way to win that ball game. And we had opportunities. We just didn't get it done. The 2 turnovers hurt, in those 9 minutes as well. And defensively, we just, we got to get a stop, and we got to get the ball back to our offense and give them an opportunity because, at that point, all we need is a field goal, and then we can take the lead over again. But again, we got to start scoring some touchdowns in the red zone.
You mentioned the big play. That was the 78-yard TD pass. It was kind of that was the turning point in the game, and you'd done a really good job of limiting them to, I would call impact plays of 20 or more yards. I think you had one more than they did. They had 3, one of them early, but you overcame it, and then they had like the very first play of the third quarter, and it didn't lead to anything. That was the big play of the game, obviously, and even though you're down 1, you kind of sense maybe your team got a little bit tight there down the stretch after they fell behind.
Yeah, we did. I think it's just, we played tight. We didn't play loose. Didn't really have the confidence, and you just see it in our kids' faces. There's just kind of the panic of, no, here we go again. But we got to get rid of that, right? We are a good football team. We have great players on our team as well. We got to have that confidence when we step on the field that we're going to go find a way to win this ball game. And we did. But Pitt's a good team. They're a very good team, and there's a reason they're ranked high, and there's a reason they played those good teams early, and we're close with them, except for maybe the Ferris game, and that's the reason they beat Grand Valley in too. So. But we're good. We're a good football team. We really are. We just got to start putting things together. We got to start putting some points on the board. We got to quit eliminating, quit giving up the big play, defensively. And sometimes it's just guys trying to make a play and trying to make a big play, and we miss, and then they get the big play as well defensively. So we'll figure it out. Just got to keep going, get back to the grind this week. Our backs are kind of against the wall now, and if we want to make a run in the playoffs or even get to the playoffs or have a chance to win the conference, we got to win.
You mentioned Pitt, a good team, and they are a very good team. They're, I think, deserving of their national ranking when you look at their schedule. But I think your team proved, you look at that final score, very not indicative of the game. You're a good team, too. I don't think there's a lot of separation between you and Pittsburgh State. But when you look at those teams that win titles or make those runs, it comes down to 2, 3, 4 plays in a game. You made a few of them, but if this Pitt made a few more. But that's the difference, especially on the top end of the MIAA. There's not going to be a lot of separation between the good teams.
No, there's not, and there's a lot of good teams in our conference. Every team you play each week has an opportunity to win that ball game. But in that game, I really think Pitt in the fourth quarter really just kind of took the game over. You could tell defensively they just kind of pinned their ears back and got after us pretty good. Then offensively they just kept pounding on the rock and get some plays here and there offensively on third downs, and we just couldn't stop them. But you could see at that point they were just like, all right, we're going to go find a way to win this game. We're going to put this game away, and that's exactly what they did.
You got off to a good start in the sense you got the first possession and moved the ball really nicely, maybe one of your better possessions of the year. You get all the way down to the 2, and then you have a holding penalty, sets you back. You have to settle for a field goal. You have your second possession. You're down to the 11, the interception near the goal line on the underthrown pass. You go 3 and out, and then you get your touchdown, and then you got the interception late and a field goal right before halftime. Offensively, outside of the 3 and out, really did a lot of great things in that first half, but yet only had the 13 points. Felt like you could have had 21, maybe 24, and it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, I feel like we should have 21 points in that game. That's something that we really got to stress and practice this week is red zone and take advantage of those opportunities and scoring points. But again, we always just kind of shoot ourselves in the foot. We get down there and we get a stupid penalty, and it pulls us back, and now we're behind the sticks, and it's especially down the road. That's a tight area, and every little area, every little yard counts in that area. And when you get backed up, the coverage gets tighter, the zones get tighter. It's harder to throw in certain situations. But we kicked the field goal the first time. The second time down, we threw the interception. I just wish we would have thrown that ball away, at least kicked a field goal there, because even if we kick a field goal there, we're still up at half, and then when they do score a touchdown, we're still up because we'll be up by 2 points. So there's just things we got to work on. We'll get better at it. I still believe in these kids. I got a lot of confidence in these young men. I know they're great players. I know they want to win. I know they care. We just got to correct the little mistakes and get them fixed.
Yeah, Caleb had 2 interceptions in that game, and he's thrown 3 picks against Pitt. That's the vast majority of his for his entire career. And the last one was big because you're still down 8, and if finding a way to just punt and stay alive, maybe get the ball back, you still have a chance. And then Pitt does what they do to run out and get that final score to put it out of reach.
Yeah, we did. I mean, this is those situations. I mean, and then our receivers, right? I feel like sometimes we don't run routes really hard. I feel like we're just kind of coasting through the routes and not getting to the point where we need to. And even on the interception, I really feel like our receiver, knowing there's a defender there, we needed to go get the ball or we needed to knock the ball down and keep it away from him, and we didn't do either one of those. So probably not a good decision to throw that ball, but it's just Caleb trying to make plays and make things happen.
You were down, obviously, Travis Dixon, unfortunately done for the year with the knee, so you're looking for someone to step up. Josh Clark started at running back, so a lot of Donovan Hunt. Those two kind of shared the majority of the loads there. Your thoughts on their play?
I think Clark's getting better. As the weeks go on, he got hurt there and was out for about a week, so that kind of hurt him just a little bit. But he sees things pretty well. He does some good things. With the ball in his hands, he catches the ball in the backfield. And he's a downhill guy. He's not as physical as Travis was, but he's starting to learn how to do those things. And hopefully, this is kind of like his breakout week here coming up here this next week. And then Donovan, he's just still new, right? He got hurt early in camp, so he's out all fall camp, so I didn't really have the chance to really see him play. But he's electric. He's got some good speed. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He can make people miss, and I'm still waiting for him to break that one because once he gets out in the open, he can go and just a couple ankle tackles has gotten him down now, but he's improved as the weeks have gone on, and he's just getting more comfortable in our offense.
I know you want touchdowns and not field goals, but you have to like what you've seen from David Arriaga. He missed that first game right before halftime, 50-plus yard try, 53, I think, and never hit it well. He hasn't missed a field goal since or an extra point, and you just see him getting more confident. His kickoffs, he's for a redshirt freshman really starting to come into his own.
Yeah, he really has. Knock on wood. Now that you said that, so hopefully he continues to make those field goals. And he's got a very strong leg, and always before the game we talk about where do you feel like you can make it, and they always tell me they always give me yardage. Mm-hmm. But always kind of add 5 to it just because,
because that's what kickers do.
Yeah, it's the adrenaline of the game, and knowing that they can make those kicks and showing them that you got confidence in them as well. But it goes to the whole crew, right? It goes to the snapper, it goes to the holder, it goes to the linemen that are up front blocking for him, making sure he's protected and giving him that confidence. But there's a lot to go into making those field goals, and everything's got to be perfect. And so far, everything's been pretty good for us.
Talk about the defense a little bit. I know they give 31 points, and down the stretch it kind of got away. But I thought up until then played really, really well. You got some big third down stops. That first possession for Pitt, they're just marching it down. You force them into a field goal. You got the interception before halftime. By and large, thought they had one of their better games until maybe the last 2 or 3 possessions when you just feel the team was demoralized.
Yeah, I think that in that first drive where they kick the field goal, if we don't get the stupid late hit out of bounds, that who knows, they might not even get in that situation to kick the field goal as well, because I thought we played pretty well defensively up to that point. Again, just little things here and there, understanding situations, whether it's down and distance, and like the third and long that really upset me. It's a third and long, and we bite on the short route, and they get the first down, to go score. It's just little things like that we got to get corrected. Fitting outside on a block instead of fitting inside and trying to make plays, and then missing a few tackles here. But I thought for the most part we played pretty solid. It's just there towards the end stretch, they got after us, pinned their ears back, and just put it down our throats.
You always mentioned physicality, and you certainly were talking about it going into this game because Pitt was going to be physical. Did you like that aspect of it from your guys? And what about tackling? Because I know it's hard to work on that, just the way modern football is, and that was going to be premium. You feel your team tackled better as well?
We did at times. There's times that there's tackles that should have been made that we didn't. Stopped our feet, dove instead of just, keep running our feet through them. Sitting in the chair. We talk about that all the time. Quit sitting in the chair and just run through the ball carrier. I felt like we did that a couple times. Took some bad angles here and there. That gave up a couple of long plays, but a couple of those, the receiving ones, we got to take the inside angle, and we're just trying to go for a kill shot or go for the pick instead of just making the play. Sometimes tell us, like, it's not always going to be a big hit. Maybe I try to stress physicality too much, so we're always trying to get that big hit. Sometimes we just need to make the tackle, make the play, and things will work out for us. Live to play another down.
Tigers lose 31-16 to Pittsburg State Saturday. 9,766 fans. You played at Pitt. You played in front of some big crowds. Obviously, the stadium has changed. There were a lot of Tiger fans there as well. That was just a great college football atmosphere. And even though you don't win the game, that was fun to be a part of, because Fort Hays State had a lot of fans there. They were making noise. Obviously, the Pitt fans were there, and you kept them quiet for a good chunk of the game. But that was just a fun atmosphere for everybody to be involved in.
No, it is. I mean, it's just like being at Lewis Field. You know, we have a great crowd. They're loud. They're cheering. Great student section for them. We have a great student section as well, who just kind of nags on you the entire game, which is part of the game, right? Some people hate it. I love it. I think it's just part of what it is, and it's part of college football. But it was a good atmosphere. I mean, it reminded me of just being here at Lewis Field as well with our fans and the loudness that they bring and the excitement. But it was a cool place to play. A lot of those kids, it's the first time they've been there, and they see the facilities that they have and stuff. But we're starting to catch up with them on those facilities and things as well. I never think our stadium will be quite as big as theirs with the double deck and all those things, but it is a pretty cool place to play.
Even the sideline guy for us got yelled at, so you're in a hostile environment when the sideline reporter gets yelled at.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of fun, but fortunately for the Tigers, come up a little bit short, 31-16 to the Gorillas. Fort Hays State at home this Saturday night. It's homecoming. They take on Missouri Western. We'll have more on that as the program rolls along. We'll get to your questions. Again, go to the Fort Hays State Athletics website, fhsuathletics.com. Click on fans. You'll get the drop-down menu. You'll see Ask the Coach. Submit it. If we use it, chance to win a Mix 103 T-shirt. A lot of questions in since the last show and over the weekend. You still have time to get yours in. We'll get that here later on in the program. Tiger Talk brought to you by United Rentals of Hays, your partner for equipment rentals, sales, and service. Whether it's big or small, you'll find it all at United Rentals in Hays. We're going to take a break. What we're going to do now is bring in our player guest. He wears number 11, wide receiver Ryan Allen. He'll join us next. This is Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
At BTI, we pride ourselves on providing quality John Deere equipment and customer support. Since 1944, BTI has been serving farmers and commercial operators with mowers, tractors, and compact construction equipment at an affordable price. As a leader in the ag industry, BTI offers complete technology solutions so our farmers can help keep America running. Experience the BTI difference for yourself.
Call on BTI.
Our family in partnership with your family.
Heater to throw on first down, looking downfield. Allen has it, makes a man miss 40, up the Fort Hays State sideline 30, and knocked out of bounds at the 24-yard line. 34-yard completion, 1st and 10, Fort Hays State. Yeah, nice pass there to our player guest, Ryan Allen. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. I need to remind you that you can sync up our radio broadcast with the MIAA Network's video feed. All you have to do is download the TuneIn app if you don't already have it. Listen to the game there. Search for Mix 103.3 and listen to the broadcast there. You'll want to pause whichever is ahead. Usually it's the audio feed, so right before kickoff, you'll want to pause it. When the video catches up, unpause, and you can sync up the radio play-by-play while watching the Tigers on the MIAA Network. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Ryan Allen is our player guest. Where's number 11? Senior wide receiver. Hard to believe you're a senior already. Tough one Saturday. You guys really battled. You were in there to about the 10-minute mark, or 9-minute mark or so, and things just kind of unraveled. Just your thoughts on the game Saturday in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good game. I think for 3 quarters we played hard, and we let it get away from us. They made big plays at the end of the stretch, and they're a good team. They're battle tested. They've been in a lot of situations like that, and they didn't panic when they were down. And that's something that we got to work on. So,
talk about the offense. It felt like one of your better games in the regard of moving the football. It was your best game, part as statistically goes, in yardage. Like that first drive, you're down to the 2, and then the penalty, had the pick near the goal line, and struggled to score touchdowns for a second week in a row. But yet, felt like you moved the ball better than you have. It's kind of interesting how you just haven't been able to finish them with TDs, but you're doing a lot of other things well.
Yeah, no, for the most part, I think our offense, we played well, and it felt like we were on the field a lot more than some of the other games. And we were making plays, but down in the red zone just didn't get it done. And we talked about last week that, some of the lower teams in our conference will get wins with kicking field goals, but against the better teams, it's not going to get it done, and we saw that this past week.
Obviously, the field shrinks when you get down there. Have you been able to kind of pinpoint what's not working to prevent you from getting those 6s instead of 3s?
Yeah, I mean, it's a combination of everything. I mean, we gotta know our assignment and execute it perfectly down there. There's no room for error, being that there's not a lot of space, and we had some mental mistakes when we got down there, and that's just, we can't have that. We gotta execute every time we're in that area and come away with 7 points.
A lot of talk about receivers getting open. It feels like it's been more of a struggle this year for you guys, maybe to get open. Is it teams defending you different? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of man coverage this season so far, so that's always a challenge. I think this past week we did a little bit better job getting open, winning routes, but we still got to improve. I talked about it a few weeks ago that it's physical conference, and there's not a lot of pass interference called and stuff, and so we got to understand that as a group and be more physical ourselves and work on getting hands off, stuff like that, so that we can get open even with the physicality.
Talking with Ryan Allen, senior wide receiver for the Fort Hays State Tigers, our player guest today on Tiger Talk. I know Coach really emphasized yards after catch last week, and it was better. I mean, you had the one you caught. We heard the highlight a few moments ago, and it being like a 34-yard reception. Really saw it from everybody, the running backs who caught the passes, the wide receivers, better yards after catch on Saturday.
Yeah, no, I think we did a much better job as a whole team, breaking tackles, getting some extra yards, and you take a 3-yard catch and turn it into 15, 20. That's huge, and give Caleb the credit on that because he sees a DB overplaying outside and he puts the ball back shoulder, lets you turn back inside, and he kind of makes the cut easy for you. So he helped us a lot with that, and then our players just understanding that's what it's going to take to make plays.
Talk about being a wide receiver at Fort Hays State, because Coach McCray, I mean, he's tough. But I mean, he expects a lot out of you. And one of the things we saw from day one when he was here is blocking and the things that you don't think about. It's more than just catching a pass. And if you don't block, you don't play.
Yeah.
Was that hard to adjust to and from coming from high school?
Honestly, not too much.
Had the same thing?
Yeah, my coaches in high school, they preached it, and it's kind of the way I first got myself on the field in high school, and kind of did the same thing here at Fort Hays. And Coach McCray, he's all about hard work, and he's bought into the physicality as well, and so just being a part of that. And they talk about, especially in man coverage, if you can wear down a DB on run plays and stuff like that, instead of just letting them take the play off, it's going to be a lot easier when you're running routes and stuff. And so, I mean, it wasn't too much of an adjustment for me, but I know some guys it is, but once they get here, they come around pretty quick to it.
It seems like you guys everybody's kind of bought in and doing a much better job of that now.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you see it like there's one guy that makes the tackle, and it's the backside corner, and if you can just hold him up, it's the difference between 70-yard touchdown run and a 30-yard gain. So, and
we always know when it's going well because we see it when the opposing secondary starts complaining to the officials about being blocked late in plays. We know it's going well. I'm sure when you start seeing that, you guys know you're doing your job, and it's got to be a little satisfying.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like when you start seeing them get frustrated, that's when you know you're doing it right. So
talk about route running, because it's whatever the play calls for. One, running a good route, and getting a foot planted, taking the right angle to keep the defensive back, in a position where he can't make a play. Talk about that, and then just the communication between you and the quarterback. How much do you ad lib on a play, or is it a strict route you have to run? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you gotta. Every route has to be full speed. That's the main thing, and if you change up your body language all the time, the DBs are going to see that, and so that's one thing I try to keep my body language the same every single play. There's a lot of ad-libbing out there for sure, especially with Caleb. He doesn't care how we get it done, but just but yeah, like one of the plays that we ran, I had a wheel route this past game. it's supposed to be more of a down the field throw, but Caleb and I had talked throughout the week about if that safety's over the top, he's going to kind of just put it inside, and that's right what he did in the game, and it worked out well. So yeah, I mean, you have a plan going in there, but we always say our routes aren't drawings, so it's never going to look exactly how it does on paper. So you just have to work with what you got.
And it goes to all the work you guys put in the off season here in the summer, just getting that cohesion to where you both are thinking on the same mind wave.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a lot of work to get to where we're at, and it's cool. Sometimes you make a certain play and you're like, yeah, that's 4 years of work going into this, and so it's cool to see some of that stuff start to work out.
Visiting with Ryan Allen, senior wide receiver on the Fort Hays State football team. We'll ask about your journey to Fort Hays State and all of that, but just the mind frame. That was a tough loss Saturday. I know you guys felt you had a great chance to win that game, and you did. You were right in there till the very end, until it got away there in the fourth quarter. The margin for error obviously is a lot thinner to get to some of the goals you want to get to. But what is the mind frame? I know it's probably tough on a Monday after a tough loss like that.
Yeah, I mean, this whole season we've been just talking about doing your 1/11th. And, offensively, when we don't do that, it seems like the quarterback's always trying to throw the ball to that guy, or the ball always finds that one guy that doesn't make the play. And so we got to go back to that, doing your 1/11th. And I think we saw it a lot more where we had all 11 guys doing their job this week. And if we can get that consistently in 4 quarters, we're gonna have a lot of success.
And we'll get another chance coming up here with Missouri Western for homecoming. Hopefully another big crowd at Lewis Field this Saturday night. All right, you're a Colorado kid, Denver area. You're now, for folks that don't know, Mike Allen is his dad, was a Fort Hays State Hall of Famer. Back when I went to school, he was a stud. So I'm sure you grew up and your mom's a Fort Hays alum from the Waukene area. So I'm sure you heard a lot of Fort Hays State. Was there any other place you were going to go to out of high school?
No, I mean, Fort Hays was one of the only schools recruiting me, and I don't know, it was an easy decision once they started talking to me. I came out for a visit, and I was already familiar with the area. Love Coach Brown, all the other coaches. It's been great. So yeah, it was an easy decision.
You're not the tallest guy. I mean, you've obviously physically have matured and grown in your time here. What are the challenges? Because you look, I mean, there's some big corners, some big safeties, the physicality of this conference. But you've obviously you fit right in and hold your own. Was that challenging to get to that point?
Yeah, I mean, if you go back and watch the film from my freshman year, I got tossed around pretty good, and that's something I think Coach McCray wanted me to experience early on, because so I mean, I had to take it real serious in the weight room, and just understanding, like, you start to feel when a DB is going to try to throw you and kind of sit your hips down, and so there's a lot of tricks and stuff that I've kind of picked up throughout the years that been able to pass it down to some other guys that are a little undersized. So.
Now your dad was on the defensive side. You're on the offensive side. You ever have conversations about which was better or which is better?
No,
does he ever give you any pointers?
Yeah, he does. He likes to kind of give some tips on what he sees in my route running and his perspective from a DB, and but he always talks about if he played the game today, he thinks he'd probably be a slot receiver as well. So
he'd probably been a pretty good one. Yeah. Well, and your dad was in the mold of Coach Brown. I mean, I think they played a lot alike, and probably some of you can't do some of the things today that you could then. I'm sure he's told you stories though about the glory days when he played.
Yeah. No, he talks about They used to teach leading with the crown of the helmet and stuff, and so definitely some differences there, but I can imagine he probably played the game pretty physically too.
Is it fun though? I mean, your dad had success. He's in the Tiger Sports Hall of Fame. That you're kind of following in his footsteps, and you're a Tiger, and you've had success as well in kind of making your own mark.
Yeah, no, it's been cool. It's just been fun to kind of do that, and I haven't felt like it's been like, oh, you're trying to live up to these standards or anything. I've felt like I've been able to kind of do my own thing and make my own path here, and so it's been a great experience.
Well, your dad's an old guy. Everybody's kind of forgotten about him already. So exactly. All right, let's talk about real quick. I know it's early in the week, but Missouri Western, obviously a big game, and every game is important. But after the loss to Pitt State, important to bounce back. Hopefully, a big crowd for homecoming, but big game again this Saturday.
Yeah, no, I mean it's gonna be a big crowd, and want to put on on a good game for everybody that shows up. And but yeah, Missouri Western's a good team. They've played good competition. Augustana, a few other teams that are good, and they've hung with everybody. And so I mean, we got to come ready to play. And goes back to what we've been talking about, doing our 111th, winning your rep every single play. And if we do that, I think we're going to take care of business.
All right, we're going to have you time to ask the coach, but we're at the bottom of the hour. So first I need to squeeze in 10 seconds for station identification. We'll do that here, and then we'll get the big question from Ryan Allen for Coach Chris Brown. This is Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network.
Celebrate a Tiger win with beers, wines, and spirits from Kaiser Liquor on East 27th and North Hall in Hayes. Tiger Radio, Mix 103.3, KJLS, Hayes.
Back on Tiger Talk, our player segment here with Ryan Allen. Always our favorite part of the program when the player gets to ask the coach. No pressure. We've had some great questions from everybody who's been on so far this year. And, of course, Coach is right there, and he can make you run when you get back to the practice field tomorrow. So I know it's a fine line, but so far he's been pretty good about it. But fire away. Your coach, something you just always want to know about Coach Brown.
I was going to say, it's not necessarily specifically about Coach Brown, but in your time coaching, how have you seen that, like the guys who have showed up consistently that do their job on and off the field, like how have you seen them later on in life, like correlate to success in their jobs and stuff like that?
Yeah, you just see, I mean, the guys that did everything the way they were supposed to do it usually are the most successful in their journeys. I mean, like Connor Shadid, the things that he's doing in his life right now. Doyen Jabowu, the things that he's doing in his life. Nathan Shepard, I mean, playing with the NFL now. Look at Shane Watts, who was a tremendous hard worker in the summer, and then now he's, he's signed, with the CFL team. I mean, so it's cool to see those guys that did everything that they were supposed to do, and the success that they're having now in life. Kyle Seamus, I mean, he's one of them too. I mean, he's a high school coach, is married, has a family. It's cool to see those guys, but it was those guys that, when the game was important to them, their teammates were important to them. Tiger football was the most important thing in their life, but you saw them get their degree, and now you're seeing them do great things in life as well. And that's something you're going to do the same thing, right? You work hard every single day through the summers. You work harder than probably any guy on our football team, and so you're going to have a very successful career just because of the things that I see you do here. I can see that already.
All right, good. What are you majoring in?
Health and human performance.
All right, want to be a coach someday, or?
Kind of a return to sport, strength and conditioning.
That's no surprise. Very good. That'd be a great avenue. Ryan, we appreciate it. Good question for the coach. The string continues. Good stuff. That was a little bit different angle. I like that. Appreciate that. And it's been really a pleasure to watch you play. Wish you obviously success Saturday night, but the rest of your senior season. Appreciate you coming on here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That's Ryan Allen. Where's number 11? You'll see him Saturday night at Lewis Field against Missouri Western, our player guest today on Tiger Talk. Tiger Talk is brought to you by BTI. They're your full-service John Deere dealer, locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. We'll take a break. More with Coach Brown as Tiger Talk continues here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Don't wait for us. Looking for unique flavor at low prices? Look no further than Taco Shop in Hayes. We have original, made-from-scratch Mexican food, sure to satisfy an empty stomach. Take a bite out of these delicious deals. Grab a beef or cheese enchilada, bite into a beef and bean burrito, or chow down on a Sancho. Save time with our free Taco Shop app. Have delicious fresh taste in just a few taps. Dine in, get it to go, or have it delivered. Taco Shop. You've never had it so good.
Come on down to the taco shop. You never had it. You never had it so good. To the taco shop.
Second down and goal from just outside the 8. Tigers' second trip inside the 10. They haven't gotten a touchdown yet. Heaver to throw. Looks near side. Clark at the 5. Makes a man miss. Touchdown! Fort Hays State! That was Joshua Clark. Made the catch at the 5. He made Jackson Young miss. And Fort Hays State gets a touchdown. They're within 1 with 2:59 to go here in the second. Yeah, one of the 5 catches on the day for Josh Clark. Good to see him back out there. Had the ankle injury, played through in game 1, missed a little time, and got back a week ago and back in the starting role. And had a pretty solid day as the Tigers come up short to the Pittsburg State Gorillas. Welcome back to Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network. We'll get into the running game and Joshua a little bit, but Ryan Allen, great young man. Obviously, we give him a hard time about his dad being here, and he was a stud. But he's made his own path. He's he's a little undersized, but as you said, no one works harder than him, and you see that on the football field every Saturday.
I mean, this kid he's all about football. I mean, he truly is, and a straight A student as well, but everything he does is all in. He strives for perfection, and that's just what he is. I mean, when you touch the kid, he's solid as a rock. I mean, he's just made of steel, but I mean, he's made himself into a tremendous wide receiver. He runs his routes hard. He's physical. Like you said, when he was younger, he had to figure that out, but he knew what he had to do to get there. And, I mean, that's a kid that would lift weights in the morning, go do some work, maybe eat some breakfast, probably go do another workout. I mean, you saw him around the facility all the time, whether it's running routes, doing drills, lifting weights, getting his playbook, watching the film. I mean, he's just constantly, trying to do everything he can to be successful on the football field. And that's going to show later on in life, too, when he's done here and his time's done, because we're going to miss him tremendously. But he's going to be a very successful man when he's done here.
A lot of talk last week about receivers getting open, especially against man coverage, and felt like it was better, but then there were times when it was, Caleb was running because there's nobody open downfield. Do you feel they're making progress in that regard?
They're making progress, yeah. I mean, a lot of teams, play man coverage now, quite a bit, and, is it press man or is it off man, and it's just our guys figured it out, and then a lot of it's just, we got to see the rotation too as receivers. Okay, they show us zone look. Okay, what's the rotation happening here? Are they rolling into a man look? Are they rolling into a cover three? Are they still playing quarters? I mean, all those different things that go into it. And so that's why we try to use a lot of motions as possible, just to kind of see how guys are moving and what they're doing. And a lot of times our guys can get a read off. Okay, these guys are starting to roll. They're playing man coverage, or they're changing up their zone just by movements. But I thought it was better this week. I still just think we need to run our routes just a little bit crisper. Now Ryan does. Ryan works. He runs. So when he's on a route, he's running his route hard, 100%. I mean, all the time. He's just getting after it. But some guys I just feel like are kind of coasting in their routes and not getting to the open spot. And as a quarterback and as an offensive lineman, now I got to protect just a little bit longer as an O-lineman. Than a quarterback, you're just waiting for that guy to get to that zone where he needs to be open. But just taking our time to get there isn't going to work. We just got to be a little bit more crisp in our routes and a little bit faster to our routes as well.
11 of Caleb's 24 completions went to running backs, Donovan Hunt and Josh Clark. Now, Josh played some receiver in junior college, and you can see that out there. But in Fort Hays State, it seemed like they've always utilized the running backs in the pass game. You really did on Saturday.
Yeah, we did, and you have to get those guys involved. And because, usually when it's man coverage, who's covering them? Linebackers, right? And I feel like our guys should be able to beat, most linebackers in this conference just because of their speed and their size and their quickness. So, we got to get the ball to them, let them make things happen in an open field. And if it is zone coverage, usually they're wide open because, everybody worries about the receivers and not the holes where the check down where the running back is. And so get those guys the ball, let them go make some things happen. And, because they're really good with the ball in their hand. And, Josh showed it on that one touchdown where he got hit and he scored. And you guys always say yak yards after the catch. I'm yards after the contact. Right? That's what I look at. And how many tackles can you break to get as many yards as you possibly can?
And it seemed like your guys were better on that Saturday. I know you made that a point of emphasis when we talked to you during your weekly press conference as well and throughout the week. And it seemed like that took a step forward. You started looking down, obviously it's yards after catch in the stat sheet, but a lot of that came with contact, and your receivers had probably their best game of the year in that regard.
It is catching the ball and getting vertical and running through people. And, we always catch it and, get your shoulder pads down because as a receiver, you got to expect the hit because the DB's coming, the linebackers are coming. So you need to catch the ball, get your shoulder pads down, and get vertical. And I thought we did better this weekend. And by doing that, you saw some bigger gains, by our wide receivers.
Tigers come up short to Pittsburgh State, 31-16 on Saturday, hosting Missouri Western, which we'll preview in the last segment of the program. And I know game is on the weekend. You had to come in a little bit yesterday, and they'll hit the practice field again tomorrow. That was a tough loss. You had a lot going in this game. You knew the winner was going to have maybe an upper hand over the team they defeated, and now you're even with Pitt, 2-2, 1-1 in the conference. The psyche of this team right now. They have a lot of high expectations, a lot of goals, and they're still out ahead of them. But it becomes a little bit the margin for error becomes a lot less right now. How's everybody hanging in on that side of things?
I'm doing well. That's something we talked about after the game. Is we we got to stay together as a team. When we win and lose together, it's offense, defense, it's special teams. I mean, we're all in this thing together, and we got to stay close as a group and maybe get even a little bit closer. Let things like this bring you closer and get you more tuned into what you need to do offensively and defensively, and make it a little bit more important to you than what you've been making. Not that it hasn't been important to them, but maybe there's some extra little things that they need to do to make sure that we don't have that feeling again of that loss. Even though it was a 15-point loss, it didn't feel like it was a 15-point loss. You know what I mean? I feel like it was a lot closer than what it was. Just a couple there at the end that got us, but we'll be okay, right? I mean, it starts with me, right? I gotta coach a little bit better. I gotta make sure they stay positive. I gotta be positive with them, but also make the corrections that we need to make, and just make sure that they know that they are a very good football team. We can do a lot of good things. We can win a lot of ball games, and just because we have 2 losses right now and 1 in our conference doesn't mean we can't run the table, because I feel like with the guys that we have and the talent that we have on this team, we can win every ball game, and I truly do believe that. So we just need to go out and make the plays that we need to win these next 7 games, so we can end up where we want to end up.
You look up and down the MIAA this weekend. You lose by 15, but as you said, it was a much different game than that. It's a 1-point game with 9 to go, and Kearney wins by a couple of scores over Emporia State. Everything else was pretty much one possession. Washburn goes to UCO, and they hang with them the entire night. Central Missouri kind of rallies to get their win over Missouri Western. Southern hangs with Northwest, loses by a 21-14. I mean, it looks like, and we talk about it every year, I think the strength of this league is the bottom. I mean, you can argue, is the top of the MIAA as good as other leagues? Yes and no, maybe, but it's the bottom, and you're seeing that this year. I don't know, there is a team that's bad. I mean, it's crazy just looking at these scores. It's sometimes you always find a dividing line. I don't know if you have that this year.
Well, just Tom Anthony, Coach Anthony from Pitt State, probably said it the best on his MIAA, show that he had, that, winning by 14 points in this conference, that's a big win. I mean, it really is. I mean, you win by 7, you're like, man, that's normal. You win by 10, that's normal. You win by 3, that's normal. But if you win by 14 or 21 points, he goes, that's a huge win in our conference, and that just talks about how our conference is and how tough it truly is. I don't think anybody's other conference from top to bottom, fits what we have in the MIAA. So you gotta be ready week in, week out, because it's gonna be a tight game, and it's gonna be a hard fought game.
Tiger Talk brought to you by the Taco Shop. Order by phone. Use the Taco Shop app. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Just east of the Fort Hays State campus on 8th Street. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. We'll take a break. We'll get to some of those questions. Had a lot of them this week. You can still do it. Get in over the commercial break. Go to FHSUathletics.com. Click on fans. You'll get the drop down. Ask the coach. Submit your question. Chance to win a T-shirt if we use your question. We'll do that do that next, and then preview Missouri Western. Mo West comes to town Saturday night. That's all coming your way on Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle. Left to Barry, takes the shotgun snap, looks left, now right, throws to the running back, it's intercepted. Michael Polly at the 40, he's at midfield, could he go back-to-back pick sixes? 35, 30, breaks the tackle, 25, down to the Gorilla, 24. Yeah, boy, Michael Polly was close to having back-to-back games with a pick six. That was a big pick right before halftime. Tigers got a field goal out of that to take a 13-10 halftime lead. Tiger Talk, in fact, a reminder that you can look your best when you listen to Tiger Talk, or on Tiger Game Day, or any other day of the week for that matter, with official Nike gear from BSN Sports and the Sideline Store. Go to FHSUathletics.com, click on Shop. That's where you'll find hundreds of products and designs, and they're all customizable. FHSUathletics.com, click on Shop, open up the Tiger Team Store. He was close. That was a great pick before halftime, and he's really improved. You're just seeing him play with more confidence week in, week out, back-to-back interceptions. sixes for Michael Pauley, and he had a maneuver around a few guys that allowed the defense to catch up where he may have had back-to-back pick sixes.
Yeah, he would have. One guy, right?
Yep.
One more guy would have got blocked. He probably would have been in the end zone, but he was just in the right place at the right time, got to his drop like he was supposed to, and quarterback overthrew his receiver, and he was right where he needed to be, and good job by him picking that ball again. I mean, last week was pretty easy catch it, get down the sideline. This one's a little bit different when you got to run to the middle and fight around all the offensive linemen that are trying to get you, and then you got quarterbacks coming at you, running backs. But no, he did a great job. He's been getting better week in and week out, and he's starting to build that confidence and turn into the player that we really thought he could be.
Takeaways, something I know you really. I mean, you look at the teams, and Pitt had a good day. They came out +2 in the game Saturday. That's such an important area. You've had back-to-back games now with an interception, but I know you'd like more of that.
Yeah, we won 3 turnovers a game. That's our goal, and if we can do that, usually you're going to win ball games like Pitt had. 3 turnovers. They won the ball game. So, that's something that we strive for every day in practice. Our kids have kind of taken ownership of that. If we don't get it, they get on the sideline and kind of do their own running just to make sure that we focus on getting those turnovers. So, that's something they work on in practice, hitting at the ball, punching at the ball, stripping at it, getting picks, tip balls as well. And that's something that we focus on every single day.
All right, let's get to some questions. Again, appreciate everybody sending them in during the week. We had a few that were same question. One of them concerns the Pitt State band. A few schools where the band plays throughout your entire opponent possession. I know that's a new rule change because I did not realize that a few years ago. That I know Pitt does it. I think UCO does it. Lincoln used to do it. I don't think they did it when it was. I think they did it illegally, but it is legal now. But just your thoughts on that? It's obviously a bit different. It makes just a little more noise and a little more communication things for you guys to get through.
Yeah, it does, but it's part of the game. It really doesn't impact it too much. I mean, it's probably more the snaps than anything else. But communication-wise, everything's sign language, hand signals. I mean, that's kind of how you communicate. We huddle up just a little bit, and our quarterback tells our offensive line what's happening. So it's probably when you go on 2 or try to alert to see what a defense is doing. It is probably the hardest part on it, but. It is what it is. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I got my headset on. I can't hear it anyway. So, but it is. I mean, I think it just makes the game more enjoyable, more intense, and it makes it really feel like a real football game.
Another question. Recruiting during signing period, occasionally you hear reports about a number of recruits signed from the state of Texas, and obviously it's a hotbed for the MIAA. You've got a lot of guys from the Texas area. Just over the years, is there a difference in the some of those Texas kids maybe compared to other states, in Kansas, for example?
The thing with Texas kids and even Oklahoma kids, I mean, they actually get a true spring ball. And so, I mean, the weather's nice enough for them, so their state, track championship's always pretty early, and then they have 2 or 3 weeks of spring ball. So those kids, they're just a little bit more advanced. And their skills are a little bit better because they get the extra. I mean, think about it, 4 years of spring ball. Our kids get 4, by the time they're a senior, they're really good. And usually those 4 weeks of spring practice that we have, those kids improve tremendously. So these kids are getting about another 8 to 10 weeks of football where Kansas kids aren't allowed to do that because of all all the other sports that are going on, and plus the weather has something to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know our weather here is a little bit different than down in Texas, but they're just a little bit more developed than the Kansas kid is right now, and sometimes that's a good thing and sometimes it's bad because sometimes they're maxed out, and that's exactly what you're going to get, and the product's never going to change, where sometimes a Kansas kid, you got to kind of, okay, where's he going to end up after a couple of years?
Yeah, interesting perspective there. All right, I thought this was a good one. What current college football rule or rules would you implement, change, or modify if you had the authority to do so?
You don't really want to know the answer to that one.
I actually do want to know the answer to that one.
I think, the targeting is the hardest one. But I'm glad they've taken it out of the game. It really is. The defensive player, you're on the field, you're playing football. It is. You always got to have your head on a swivel, because back when I played, you had to have your head on a swivel. You never knew an offensive lineman was going to come try to knock your head off, or you're going to try to do the same thing to him. But, really, it's just the thing that probably irritates me the most is like the uniform stuff that they talk about, right? With always got, when you're on the road, we're in white, right? So we got to have a white shirt on, and we're at home, we got to have a black shirt on, and everybody's got to have the same socks, and everybody's got to have the same spat on as well. So we, in the last against Pitt, we all had yellow spats and things like that, and it's more just the knee pad things. I get that, but it's just like if we're going to do it, make sure to both teams do it, right? So it's probably more the uniform thing that drives me the craziest, because Division I's don't follow it at all. But we're pretty strict on it, in our conference, and making sure kids have their knee pads down, have the right shirt on, and just those things. And then I do think eventually the kickoff thing will come into play, just like the NFL is doing, just because there's so many big hits, in that moment, and we do try to keep kids healthy and things like that. But that's really probably the thing that would change most, is probably the kickoff and just putting it down there, and that way we're not having those big collisions. Even though I like the big collisions, but just keeping kids a little bit more healthier.
Well, it's made the NFL game. I mean, the kickoff is back after for a long time. Really kind of went away. Why did you have to go to Pitt State 2 years in a row? That was another question.
Just scheduling. It's always a 2-year schedule, and so every 2 years they kind of change it, and it just so happened that this year we've done it with Northwest before.
We'll go to Emporia twice, back to back.
Emporia,
but Western's coming to Hayes 2 years in a row.
Yep, we'll take that, and it's just to redo the schedule. So the next year Pitt will be here. Then again we'll redo the schedule in 27, 28, and so it might be they have to come back here again, or we'll switch it up. So it's just the scheduling. It's always a 2-year scheduling. Real
quick on this one though, it's kind of a Tiger fan. So I've been going to games for 40 years. Remember Lewis Field when it was grass and limestone, the border, and now when you look at it, even when you played some games there, how much it's changed now. Obviously, the new end zone facility going in, and just the turf and the video board and all of that. Do you feel you've had a small hand in some of those improvements at Fort Hays State?
I mean, a little bit, but it's really, Curtis Amicky. I mean, he's the one that really pushed to make all these upgrades and get these things done, and he did an excellent job of redoing the field and getting the scoreboard, and now the end zone facility, and probably the next project needs to probably be the our press boxes. It's kind of getting old, so we probably need to start upgrading that a little bit. But it's also keeping up with our conference, and because everybody's always getting new things, and it's an arms race here, and kids want to go to the place that has the nicest things, and I think we're right there with them.
Tiger Talk brought to you by Royal Roofing, the #1 local roofing company. Royal Roofing, roofing, guttering, siding, windows. Call today for a free estimate. Give your home the royal treatment with Royal Roofing. We'll take our final break. We'll preview Missouri Western. They're in town Saturday night. That's next on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Tired of equipment that's seen better days? Or maybe you have a project that requires a bigger machine than you own. This is Blake from United Rentals in Hayes, and we have you covered. Whether you're a contractor, a farmer, or working on your own project, we've got the machinery you need. Big or small, and everything in between, you can rent it for a day, a week, or a month. And if you're looking to own, we have a huge inventory of reliable used equipment for sale. Plus, we can service and repair the equipment you already own. Stop by United Rentals on South Vine in Hayes. We're your one-stop shop for rentals, used equipment sales, and repairs.
Fall season is back. To keep those long days in front of the TV uninterrupted, order your next meal from the Taco Shop. Specials this month include 3 Amigos, $3.29, Mexican pizza, $5.59, and the meat nacho, $2.09.
Yeah, I'll basically be playing the fight song right away.
Yeah, give me let me do a live read and kick the fight song if you would.
Okay.
That'll work.
Come on down to the taco shop. You never had it. You never had it so good. To the taco shop.
Barry to throw, wants to run. Jalen Williams has him, and he sacks him back at the 25. Jalen Williams, the UT Permian Basin transfer. First sack of the day for the Tigers. It brings up 4th and 10. Tiger Talk brought to you by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, offering the most comprehensive and advanced orthopedic care in western Kansas. Why travel hours when the best in the region is right here at Hayes Med? About out of time, but Coach, Missouri Western, homecoming Saturday. Hopefully a big crowd for the Tigers and the Griffins. A good team. They hung with Central Missouri. It's going to be another MIAA battle.
Yep, come out and support us. We need you there, but they are a good football team. They're gritty. They're scrappy. They do some great things offensively and defensively. They're going to man up and get after us, and they got Hall back at running back. He's one of the best running backs in the conference. So it's going to be a battle, but we need your support. Come out and see us.
Louisville's been great first 2 games. It's been a great home field advantage. Hopefully another fun night under the lights on Saturday. Coach, as always, appreciate your time. Good luck Saturday, and we'll see you at the stadium.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Gerard.
That's head coach Chris Brown with us again on Tiger Talk. Again, 7 o'clock kick Saturday night at Lewis Field. Our coverage at 6 with the Auto World pregame on the Tiger Sports Network. And then we'll talk to you again next Monday at 9 a.m. right here on Tiger Talk. Thanks to Ryan Allen, our player guest. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next Monday right here on Tiger Talk.